my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa and I, and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is a really fun one. It is all about when you are finally going to find love. So this is a singles reading, and in order to figure out when you are going to find love, I have prepared 4 groups that you can choose from. So if this is the first pick a card reading that you're tuning into, let me explain. So out of the 4 groups, you choose one of these groups intuitively. So just go with whatever mineral that you feel resonates the most with you. And the timestamps are in the description box as well as down below in the comment section. So you can fast forward to the reading of your choice to figure out exactly when you are going to find love. And I just wanted to point out that you can in fact feel drawn to multiple groups. So if that is the case for you, then feel free to tune into multiple readings because your personal reading could be a mixture between multiple groups. So regarding the 4 groups, we have the Smoky Quartz, we have the Shiva Lingam, we have the Aragonite, as well as the Clear Quartz. So if you need a minute to meditate on the 4 groups in order to make the right choice for you, then feel free to pause the video right here and right now in order to do so. And you guys, in one of my last videos, I created a free downloadable PDF in order to help you pick the right card and pick a card readings each and every time. I will link that down below in this video, as well as my new free downloadable PDF. Okay, free, you guys, it's completely free, 99. All you do is put in your contact information, and this PDF is all about how you can cleanse your crystals. So if you are an avid crystal collector, just like I am, these 4 tips may help you greatly. So the link will be down below, so feel free to download that PDF as well. Because you guys know that I'm just here to provide you guys with value. So yeah, guys, that is it for the intro. I like to keep it really short and to the point so we can spend more time within our readings. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Smoky Quartz. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Smoky Quartz. So group number 1, first and foremost, I would like to say a few things about why you may have chosen the Smoky Quartz in correlation to your love life. The Smoky Quartz is a very gentle cleanser. It is a stone that very gently eliminates and detoxifies negative energies, but it is also a stone that helps neutralize. So if you feel like you need a neutral and fresh start, that may be why you ended up choosing the Smoky Quartz. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly when you are going to be finding love. Okay, so first up we have Venus. So in Venus, I want you to know that you're going to find love as soon as the part of you that desires beauty, success, everything that is about, you know, valuables, things that just light you up with the material realms, as soon as you've sort of figured out where you stand in correlation to those things and how important those things are to you is when you will find love. So maybe right now you're confused. You don't know, do I want somebody who's really successful and wealthy? Or do I want somebody who emphasizes their life more in other areas? That is completely up to you. But one thing that I see is that there may be kind of like a conflict of interest, an interest of conflict. You get the gist, group number 1. So let's move further into your reading. We will be coming back to that though. In Taurus, I see that you may find love in a Taurus or another earth sign. One thing that I see that you really love about the Taurus particularly is the fact that they're very like productive, dependable. They're very much grounded, and you guys may share the same passion for food, okay? And I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to say too much. Tauruses are known to be foodies, and you may be a foodie as well, and that may be something that you bond over. I know it sounds really weird, but that is what I see here for you. And I see that, you know, just an earth sign gives you sort of like that dependable feeling that you may have been longing for, that stability that is important to you. Then in the Kyanite, I see that you have to make more time to take care of yourself right now. It's very clear, group number 1, that maybe you've been neglecting yourself. Maybe you've been neglecting just like your exterior, you know what I mean? Because when you stop taking care of yourself on the exterior, when you stop, for instance, doing your hair, putting on makeup, things that you would usually do, so that is different for each and every one of us, but once you stop doing those things, it's kind of like you're taking away that moment of love, that you share with yourself. Because self-care is an act of respect. It is an act of just showing appreciation for yourself, which is super important, and I feel like you have to indulge in that a lot more. Then we have these sugulites. So it's very clear that you have to start owning who you are. You have to start owning your divine power. So maybe you're a very like powerful woman or man, or you're just in general a powerful person. You have strong values, you have strong morals, you're somebody who knows exactly what they want, and you're not going to let somebody get you off your path. You're not going to let somebody tell you otherwise. And that is one thing that I see. I see that you're somebody who does not want to people please, who does not think that it's important for others to like you. You're somebody who's very sure about who you are as a person, and that's just how it is. And one thing that I see is that because you're so assertive, because you're so empowered, you need somebody who is strong. You need somebody who is not insecure. So I see that you will find love if maybe you just tone it down just a little bit at first, because it can come off intimidating, group number one. And oftentimes that first impression is really important, and I don't want you to come off in a way that doesn't completely represent you. Yes, you are strong. Yes, you're not going to change that because of another person, but at the same time, you don't want to scare them off before they get to know you and before they get to realize all the amazing things about you. So let's move further into your reading. We have the yellow jasper, the moonstone, then we have it's up to you as well as you're ready. So in the yellow jasper, one thing that I see here that is kind of like blocking you from finding love right now is that you may have a little bit of a situation where control is an issue. Maybe you're very controlling with yourself, and control can voice itself in many different ways. You may have some sort of obsessive compulsive disorder where you have to do something a certain amount of times or in a very certain way, and if not, it will not allow you to rest, and that is one thing that is very much tied to control. And then there's also control, for instance, with eating disorders, you know, controlling every little nutrient that you consume, really being picky about what it is that you make, what choices it is that you make when it comes to food. So those are obviously just examples. Control issues could also have to do with a little bit of jealousy. So that is one thing that I see within you that maybe sort of like stopping the flow of love up until this point, or maybe making it a little bit difficult. The fact that somebody needs to let go of control. So that could be the person in question, that could be you, but control is an issue, and maybe that is something that your twin flame is currently still working on. So in the moonstone, I want you to know that your intuition is what is going to ultimately lead you to love. I see that you're ready. That is very clear in your reading. You're completely ready for new love. You're completely ready to discover this sort of romantic streak in you, to be that adventurous person inside and out. But last but not least, you need to follow your intuition when it comes to Venus. So as I said, we're gonna come back to Venus, and I wanted to talk to you about this a little more. So make sure that your priorities are exactly where you want them to be. Make sure that your priorities are set in an area that is sustainable in the long term. For instance, making a priority being with somebody who is primarily good looking may not be sustainable in the long term, because you may be looking for a partner to be with for a very long time, or it may be even more important to you in due time to have somebody who is intellectually on a high level. And now I'm not saying that those two things cannot go together. Those two things can occur at the same time. But what I'm saying is when you put one trait ahead of the other and completely neglect other traits that are important to you in love, that is when you run into issues. So group number one, make sure that you reevaluate that part of your love life. Make sure that you reevaluate that part of your decision making, as that is where I see that there may still be a little bit of friction or issues, if you will. But I see 100% that it's up to you when you find love. I see that you have to sort of allow it to happen. You have to open up, and you just need to like own who you are, but still let people get to know you. Still allow yourself to be playful enough to open up your guard, let down your guard, and allow somebody to figure out who you are at your core. So follow your intuition when it comes to who you let in and who you're kind of like, need to get to know you a little better before I trust you, because that is what is going to ultimately lead you to success, as well as just becoming very clear of where your priorities lie for the future of your love life. So group number 1, that is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Shiva Lingam. So group number 2, this is such a fun stone. I see exactly why you chose it. It just looks like a little pill, and it is a stone that will allow you to intensify your vitality. It is a stone that overall just gives you this surge of energy that increases the pranic energy within yourself and allows you to channel improvement in your health and overall well-being. But I want to move into your reading to figure out more about your love life. So first and foremost, we have the Scorpio. So group number 2, one thing that I see is that your love life may have something to do with a Scorpio. So you may be a Scorpio, the person in question that is coming into your life may be a Scorpio. Either way, I see that this energy is very strong. It's very strong-headed, and it's also very charming. Okay, one thing about the Scorpio is that they're so charming, they're so sort of mystic in a way, mysterious, and can be a little bit secretive, can be a little bit jealous at times. Let's not judge too soon. Moving further into your reading, we have Uranus. So I want you to know in Uranus that one thing that will lead you to love, when you will actually be able to receive love, is once this sudden change happens. I see that there is going to be a big change within your life that is coming up. I see that you will come to a form of enlightenment, a form of awakening. So this awakening can show itself in many different ways. Maybe the awakening is coming from the fact that you are discovering a plant-based lifestyle and you want to be with somebody who understands that as well. Maybe this awakening is realizing that maybe you're not into the kind of person that you always thought you were into. Maybe you're into a completely different kind of human being. But the awakening could also be a spiritual awakening within yourself, where you reevaluate who you are, what your values are, and you realize that maybe you've been hanging around the wrong kind of people and attracting the wrong kind of souls into your life, into your love life, that have been leaving things shattered, broken, and not in a good place. And that is one thing that you're going to come to a realization of. There's going to be this sudden change and shift in you that is just going to be able to open the gateways to love. But let's move further into your reading, group number 2. So we have the appetite. So one thing that I see in the appetite is that I want you to focus on progress. I don't want you to rush things. I want you to make sure that you keep in mind that this sort of epiphany, this sudden change, is something that may take a little bit of time. It's something that may not happen tomorrow, especially if you don't have much of an influence on the situation. If you don't have power over when this happens, you just need to wait it out and be a little patient, but don't judge yourself. Okay, that is one thing that I feel like you may have been doing in your love life. You may have been judging yourself. You may have felt like, am I unlovable? Am I somebody who's hard to get along with or hard to love? Like, why are things not working out as quickly as I would like them to work out? And I see that just judging yourself is going to slow your progress. What would really help you move forward is to focus on how far you've already come and to just be excited for this big change and just what it can do for your life, group number 2. So make sure that you're not too hard on yourself when it comes to that. Then in the calcite, one thing that I see is freeing up your schedule. I see that you're somebody who needs to take charge of their schedule. You are probably someone who likes to help everyone. You don't like to leave people just waiting in the dust. You're somebody who is there when your friends, your family need help, but you have to think to yourself, you know, am I honestly busy? Am I honestly so occupied, or am I just taking on way too much stuff? You have to be honest with yourself, group number 2. If you're just taking on way too much stuff because you're trying to please everybody and because you're just trying to get as much done as possible, but it's not actually necessary, then try and filter those things out. Try and leave those things in the past that are not super necessary. Make a list. That is one thing that I would recommend for you, to actually write down all the things that are necessary and urgent, all the things that are not necessary but would be good for your life, and the things that you're just doing just to get things done. And that last column, just cancel it out. Make sure that you make time for love, because that is one thing that I feel like is missing a little bit within your life. And we have the clear quartz. So I want you to know that you have to allow yourself to cry sometimes. I feel like maybe you're one who holds back tears often, who is somebody who doesn't like to seem sad, somebody who likes to always be strong, someone who just wants to be the vibrant light for everybody else in your life. And group number 2, I know that being strong is sometimes the only choice that you have, or you feel like you have, but sometimes even you need to cry. Sometimes even you need to take some time away from the world, or some time with somebody who you can speak to and just open up to, and just take time to just let it flow, let it go. Because when you allow yourself to feel those emotions, when you allow yourself to just let the tears roll down and just feel sad whenever you think it's necessary to, then that is when you feel lighter. That is when you feel somehow like a weight has been lifted, because you've finally been able to let everything out that needs to come out. Especially in love, I see that there may be a form of frustration here, a form of being hard on yourself, and maybe almost asking yourself if you're lovable. But allowing yourself to cry, allowing yourself to make more time for love, that is one thing that I see as really helpful to you. Then in the fluorite, I want you to know that you're naturally attractive. There's nothing that you need to change. If you've been thinking of changing things about yourself, be it your clothing, be it your looks, like physically, be it going for a surgery or anything like that, I want you to know that you're naturally already beautiful, and just wait and hold off on those things. Because sometimes we can get ourselves into this feeling where we're like, oh my God, I really need to change this about myself. I really need to get this surgery. But then if you actually wait and give it a little bit of time, you may rethink it. And also the trends may change. Keep in mind that right now we are in an age of a lot of sort of photoshopping, of a lot of things not being natural, and that can really mess with your head as well as with your love life. But when you let that go and you realize that there are people out there who still appreciate natural beauty and who still appreciate you being yourself, regardless of how you look, then that is when you will find true love. Because even if you decide to move forward with changing something about yourself after you found love, you'll just always know that that person loved you just how you were in your natural form and natural state. So do not feel like you need to change something about yourself in order to be lovable or to be loved. Then we have perfect timing as well as no. So one thing that I want you to know is that there is no such thing as perfect timing for you in finding love. You have to be the one inducing the love. You know, there's no perfect time for love. Love is something that just happens, and you just need to roll with it, whether it's a great time or whether it's a time that proves to be a little challenging. I just want you to not put too much pressure on the timing. So last but not least, group number 2, I just want you to know that you shouldn't put too much pressure on timing when it comes to love. That is one thing that I see that may even be preventing you from finding love. So allow yourself to let things happen however they're supposed to happen, and to embrace who you are naturally. But still keep an eye out for that potential Scorpio within your life, or that person who just gives you that Scorpio energy and the big change that is happening, that is all of a sudden going to allow love to enter your life. So once that change has happened, group number 2, you know love is the next thing coming for you. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Aragonite. So group number 3, the Aragonite is a stone that allows you to combat anger, as well as provides you with strength and support. So that may be something that you need right now, but I want to move straight into your reading to figure out exactly when you are going to be finding love. First and foremost, we have the Virgo. So I see Virgo energy here. The person that you're supposed to be with may be a Virgo, maybe you're a Virgo. Virgo. As I said, there's Virgo energy here, and this kind of energy is very persistent. It's very dutiful. It's energy where, you know, you are humble, but at the same time, you want to achieve as much as possible. So I definitely see a kind of like power duo here. I feel like when you do find love, it's going to be a great combination where you build together, where you achieve things together, and where you go really far as a duo. And another thing that I see here is the tendency to make sure that you continue trying and doing things until you get it right, which leads me to feel like when you find love, this relationship is going to be one where when things get tough, you don't just throw everything away. You're the kind of people who are going to work on it until things are fixed and you get it right, if you know what I mean. But let's move further into your reading. In the 6th house, I see that the area of your life that concerns your work, your health, just where you are sort of like of duty, or where you have something to do, something to fulfill. I see that that is one thing that needs to first come into alignment before you can find love. So think to yourself, are you comfortable at your workplace? Are you comfortable with your health? Are you comfortable with the chores that you have? Maybe you're taking care of one of your siblings, maybe you're taking care of a pet, and right now you may not be in the most ideal place for love, or there may just be something going on in those areas where you have this duty to fulfill that are right now not inviting love in. So I feel like that needs to come into alignment. So let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly how that is going to happen. So I'm going to start off with your crystal angels. We have the turquoise. Group number 3 in the turquoise, one thing that I see is that you're going to have your true beliefs become clearer and clearer to you as these next weeks pass by. So you're going to start to realize exactly what is important to you, exactly what is essential to you in a way that may not have been clear to you before. So as I described to you this relationship being, I feel like it's going to become very clear to you that that is really what you're seeking and you want nothing less than that. In the spiritual path of the turquoise, I also want you to know that you will be making the necessary life changes to invite in love within these next upcoming weeks. So these changes have to be made before love can come into your life. And one thing that I want you to know in the rubellite is the fact that aligning passion and purpose is important. Not making a difference between work, life. You know how we talk about work-life balance, but really what we should be talking about is just life balance as a whole. We should not differentiate work from life so much. And that is one thing that I feel like may be really stressing you out. Maybe you have so much to do at your work or your school, whatever it is that sort of keeps you busy the entire day, that it's hard for you to actually make time for love. It's hard for you to actually figure out exactly what it is that you want and what you don't want. And it's hard for you to feel passionate because maybe you're just kind of drained and exhausted. And one thing that I want to talk to you about, group number 3, is the people surrounding you. If you feel like there's a lot of negativity within your workplace, there's a lot of negativity within your area of duty, as we talked about in the 6th house, then maybe remove yourself from that area. That area may be sabotaging your love life. And by that, I mean situations that I've seen over and over again. So-called friends sabotaging their best friends from finding love, sabotaging them from being happy. And it is really sad and scary to witness, but it happens so often. So if you feel like there is some sort of element like that within your existence, banish it, because there's no way you can get love in your life when you have somebody close to you constantly pushing it away as soon as they see it. You know what I'm saying? So let's move further into your reading. In the Larimar, one thing that I see here is that you're going to be kind of like extra emotional when it comes to this. I feel like love is something that right now causes raw emotion in you. It causes a feeling that is very real and it just cannot be replicated. When you think about love, it just sparks something up in you that is beautiful, but at the same time also a very raw and painful emotion. So you may have been through a lot in your life, be it bullying, be it like being cheated on in past relationships, and it still has an effect on you. So those sensitive emotions are something that you may carry on into the next relationship, but I just want you to know that there is hope to kind of heal. There is hope to patch that up. And the time that is right for you to find love has everything to do with the amber. So I want you to know in the amber that you just have to sort of give it up to the universe, give it up to God, whatever it is that you believe in. It doesn't really matter that much. What matters is that you're just giving it up to another force. You're not making it kind of your responsibility to find love. You know that love will find you when it's right. And that is the switch in your thought process that you have to make to find love. You have to stop looking for it and allow it to just happen. And I want you to wholeheartedly stop looking for it, because often we're like, oh, you know, I'm not even looking. Just on Tinder, but I'm not looking. You know what I'm saying, group number 3? Try and wholeheartedly just focus on yourself and not focus on being responsible for finding love. Then in abundance, one thing that I see is that focusing on realigning your job or whatever it is, like I said, that keeps you busy all day, making sure that there are no negative entities there pulling you down will lead not only to love, but also to abundance. So as I spoke about to you, if there are changes that you have to make within that field of your life, make them, as they will only lead to more abundance, more fulfillment, and also more material possessions if that is what you're into. So last but not least, we have ask your angels. So as I said, you have to give up the question or the chore, the sort of like assignment of finding love. You have to give it up to another force, to a higher power, to the universe, to chance, to luck, whatever you want to call it. But one thing that I see is that when you give it up, there is nothing wrong with gently asking. So as I said, don't make it your responsibility to find, but gently ask. Do little rituals, little meditation sessions where you tell yourself, I am worthy of love. I am finding love. I am in love. I am in an amazing relationship. Speak it into existence and allow yourself to also just ask your guides for help. Ask whatever it is that you believe in to help you in these difficult situations that you may be going through. And if love is one of them, don't be ashamed to ask for further help. So group number 3, that is a reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful, uplifting, maybe a little encouraging, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the clear quartz. So group number 4, the clear quartz is a really special stone, and I'm glad that you chose it because it is a stone that allows you to reach higher spiritual receptiveness, but it is also the master of healing. So the clear quartz is a stone that amplifies qualities of other stones. So if, for instance, you choose another stone that is a stone of love, the clear quartz will allow you to really amplify and just zoom in on that ability and make the most out of it. So it's not only a very supportive stone, a very emotionally and spiritually supportive stone, but it is also a stone that will amplify all the things that you want amplified. So let's move into your reading to figure out exactly when you are going to be finding love. So first and foremost, we have the moon. So in the moon, I see that following that gut feeling of yours, following your intuition, is one thing that will allow you to find love, and also make sure that you don't walk into situations that are less than favorable for you. So by that, I mean, have you ever been on a date with somebody where you're just like, oh, this doesn't feel right, and you actually stuck around to figure out why it didn't feel right, and then you were like, why did I do this? I should have just known. That is the situation that I'm talking about, group number 4. So listen to your intuition. You don't need to stick around. If something feels wrong or off, it most likely is. You don't need to stick around to figure out why. So be very assertive and decisive. And in the moon, I also want you to know that your subconscious is who will truly lead you to love. So don't think too much with your rational mind, with your awoken mind, so to say. Allow your subconscious to lead you to love and to make those decisions in love for you. Last but not least, I see that a full moon is a great time for you to meet somebody special. Like during a full moon, around a few days before and after, the energy is just different. The energy is just more powerful, more magical, and that is one thing that sort of correlates to the clear quartz, just amplifying the energy that is around. That is one one thing that the full moon does as well. So consider that a very fruitful time for you to attract love into your life. In the second house, one thing that I see here is that you have to get your earthly things into check before you will finally find love. One thing that I see is that you have to get like your finances, you have to get your values, all of that going in the same, like pointing in the same direction before love is able to enter your life. So group number 4, realize that if there is a big discrepancy between who you are at your core, but what you're sort of going after, that can be problematic. By that I mean, if you're somebody who is really caring and loving towards animals at the core, but you eat them or you wear them, etc., that is something that you can slowly but surely rectify just to make sure that all your energy is going in one direction. So that was like a big example. Okay, I know it's a big one. It's one that can take years to do, but I just wanted to make an example that you would understand when I mean making all of your sort of intentions and everything that you believe in be directed in one area. So obviously, if you're very much into the environment and being environmentally friendly, then maybe you're not going to eat animal products, but you're going to wear them because they are more biodegradable than any sort of plasticky materials that you would wear instead of leather. As I said, just examples. Everybody has to make their own decisions when it comes to these things, but aligning your beliefs with your actions, that is one thing that I feel like could still be a little optimized within your life. So group number 4, then we have the aqua aura. One thing that I see within the aqua aura is that you may be attracting water signs. A water sign coming into your life may be the right thing for you, is probably where you will discover love. So look a little bit more into the water signs around you. And if you meet somebody, ask them when their birthday is, ask them what their zodiac sign is, and know that if it is of the water range, that may vet really well for the communication between you and that person. One thing that I see here is that you will be able to communicate very clear and in a very assertive way with somebody who is of a water sign. Maybe you're of a water sign, and that will help you truly be understood. One thing that I feel that you may have been struggling with in love, one thing that I feel may be preventing you from finding love or may have prevented you, is just being misunderstood. People not really getting your vibe, not really understanding who you are and what you're all about and what is essential to you. So truly being understood is one thing that I see coming as a new sort of energy into your love life and allowing it to flourish. So then we have the angelite. Group number 4 in the angelite, I see that you will find love in a community with like-minded people. Like-minded people could be a spiritual community. It could be, for instance, here on YouTube, pick a card readings. It could be a like-minded community somewhere in your church, somewhere in your local mixed martial arts class. As I said, you can meet a like-minded person wherever it is that you feel your interest lies in. So if you're really interested in art, go to some art galleries. If you're really into, for instance, football, go to some football games. And that is where I see that you will meet somebody who is like-minded, which is very essential for you here in love. You're not somebody who can be with someone who has totally different morals and values. You need that to be in alignment. And one thing that I see about you finding love is that you will find love within a community, within a person that you meet during a time where you two both love what is going on. So as I said, at a football game, you love what's going on. At, for instance, a cooking class, you love cooking, you love food. That is how you're going to meet that person, during something that you're engaged in and something that you're passionate about. Then in the jade, one thing that I see is that love may have been draining you, like the thought of love may have been a little stressful or draining. So take time to recover, take time for your own personal wellness. That is something that will make you more attractive. Know that somebody who takes care of themselves, somebody who is healthy, somebody who is just radiant, you know, who is just giving off this energy of being alive and healthy. That is, to me, like one of the most amazing, most attractive traits. So allow yourself to cultivate that. Allow yourself to nourish yourself mentally, especially, because wellness, well-being has a lot to do with where we are mentally. Well-being is not just, are you healthy physically? It all starts in the mind. And know that if your mind isn't in a healthy spot, then your body may result to not being in a very good spot also. It may have that effect. So look out for that, group number 4. And then we have the Moldavite. One thing that I see is that you're going to find love in a very unconventional way and possibly in a very unconventional person. The story of you getting to know this person is going to be a one-of-a-kind kind of story. It's going to be basically that story that you tell people and they're just like, wow, really? Like, that's how you met? That's the kind of story that it's going to be, and it's okay to be different. It's okay for you to meet somebody in a very different way, or in a way that may be even taboo, if you will. For instance, meeting people online, that is for many of us still taboo. That is for many of us still almost embarrassing to say, but I want you to know that meeting somebody in an unconventional way like that, meeting somebody in a way that may almost make you feel uncomfortable to sort of tell the story, is what is going to happen for you. So if you meet someone in the near future, once you've aligned yourself with all of your beliefs, with all that it is that you truly want to tune yourself to, know that meeting somebody in a really strange way, that may end up being the person for you. So last but not least, we have yes, as well as communicate clearly. So as we already briefly spoke about, this person could be of a water sign, could very likely be of a water sign, because that is who you vibe with. That is the kind of person that you feel understands you with all the situations where you feel like you've been misunderstood within your life. This sort of misunderstood vibe is something that I feel like is still affecting you, but something that I feel like love can help you get over, because then all of a sudden you have a partner in crime. All of a sudden you have somebody who's there, who gets you, who understands you, and who you can just like communicate with effortlessly, and you don't need to be worried about them taking it the wrong way or them not understanding completely what your needs are. So in order to find that person, say yes. I want you to get out of the shell that you may be in. I want you to get out of your comfort zone. If, for instance, friends ask you to come and hang out, say yes more often. If you have the opportunity to go to some sort of event, maybe it's a concert, maybe it's a get-together of some sorts, maybe it is even a business meeting, you know, kind of like a business course. Make sure that you do so. Make sure that you get yourself out there and just say yes to more events and more things that are out of your usual space. As I said, that is where you will meet love. You will finally meet them when you're able to get out, once you have realigned the things that are important to you, possibly around the time of a full moon. So group number 4, that is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comment section if you did, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos.